Oh, hello, Ukraine. And I'm I'm gonna play a past video about what happened. You probably know about this one. And
Stop
about
overpaying on your
once they
electric
got
bill.
out of the
This
war
power saver can keep you from throwing your
and
money away
they
each
got to
month.
certain
So this
countries,
is my
and
bill
this
from a
this
couple
is what
of
they
months ago.
truly
Almost
felt
$200. Not good.
about
For a
certain
couple
people.
of months, and
But you
it down
guess the
to
people
15
they didn't
bucks.
like.
All I did was
You gonna
plug
figure it
in
out.
this device
Ukrainian
called
people.
Power Saver Pro. What this Ukrainian refugees that fled their country to go to the UK for safety are now finding it difficult to live in the UK because of all the black people and the Muslims that are living in those areas. After a week of staying there, her guest told her there were too many Muslims in the area.
We were quite shocked at how difficult she found different cultures.
She felt there were just too many
Skin colors.
Her guest's son was enrolled into the local school, where the majority of children happened to be black and Asian.
And then to just have her complain about the demographic of the school and going, well, he can't be safe there. There's not enough white kids, essentially. The majority of my neighbours are Muslims. A lot of them are Kashmiris or Pakistanis, Indians, and they're wonderful people. And you just felt if you just would sort of give them the time, perhaps we'd come to the same conclusion.
They both agreed to end the placement.
Where I became to the worst area of the Birmingham, unfortunately.
Oksana moved here from Kyiv last summer. She admits that at first, living side by side with so many different cultures made her feel afraid.
I was very afraid because it was not usually for me. And some people just told me about so many dangerous stories.
So people found it hard to believe when we were talking about how Ukraine was treating African people when the war first started. The way they were kicking black people out of their trains, their buses, they were telling them, no, we are gonna escape first, and then whatever happens to you, happens to you. There were so many conversations about that.
I even lied that I was pregnant. They didn't care. I was begging. The official literally looked me in my eye and said, in his language, only Ukrainians, that's all. That if you are black, you should walk.
If we went on social media, everybody was talking about how Africans were being treated in Ukraine as they fled this conflict.
These people left without taking the flags. None of the flags.
They are not allowing any black to enter inside the place. They are all there. The Ukrainians that they are allowing in. Even the ones with kids, they're not allowing them.
And some people still are defending these people. Until this day, you'll find websites and radio stations and TV stations telling you to go and support Ukraine. People are even flying out to Ukraine or Russia to join somebody's war. But look at how these people are treating our people. How do you expect someone to be okay with this treatment? And you want us to care more than our own problems for these people's problems who don't even want to be in the same school, in the same neighborhood with our people. It does not make sense, and I'm glad the truth is being exposed. Anyways, fam, let us know down below what your thoughts are about this. I am Ungil Zelan.
Now let me comment on this one. Now in the midst of right now, Russia is in war with Ukraine. The Russian, they're kicking the Ukrainians' butt. Literally, they ain't having no mercy on Ukrainian people. The Russians is tearing their behind up from one end to the other, bombing their buildings, bombing their towns, bombing all this stuff. But yet you got time. Then the nations come together from all walks of life to come rescue you, help you out. You have to start all over again, and you can't adjust simply because of somebody's skin color. Really? Why most of your so you worry about this is how deep I'm telling you, this is how deep racist people think that we joking if we think that we make this up. In the middle of, I mean, they in a war. They are literally in a war right now. They've been in a war since the beginning of time, and you have time to be racist. I mean, you can't, I mean, some stuff is laughable, man. That she can't adjust her mind. Like, oh my goodness, like it's good. Why are we around all these Muslims and stuff, and Pakistanis and black? That'd be the last thing I'd be thinking about if I'm coming out of a war with another damn country and they killing up all my relatives, neighbors, and friends and shit. The last thing I'm thinking about is, and you have this other country who is basically having no mercy whatsoever. But you see, even in the midst of war, people got time to be racist. In the midst of a war, we don't want to live next to you. We don't want to go this. Not that you're gonna have a decent quality of life, and it's something to adjust because the world's adjust. The world is changing, man. But you think that every nation is going to be white forever or one race forever? No, they ain't having that. You know, when it comes to war, no one's thinking about race. When it comes to war, no one's thinking. You think about survival. When it comes to calamity, weather disasters, you know, no one's thinking about war. But that's how ignorant some people are, and that's why I can understand. How can you feel sorry for somebody and you going over to help somebody and they come over, like, you know, get used to it. Like, get over it. I mean, that's what it is. Like, get over it. There's other people on the doggone planet. That even if you go back to Ukraine, it ain't going to be the same. I memean, that place is bombed. Have you been looking on the news lately? It is literally bombed the hell out. I mean, literally, they took... The Russians is tearing that, and them other people tearing that side. They're going at each other. I mean, they ain't having no mercy on apartment buildings full of people, elderly people, babies is dying and shit. But you got time to be racist. But you got people who speak the same. But you got time, and then the people who's doing it is the Russians that look like you, which is white. But they just it's just the next door neighbor. I mean, you know, you can't make this stuff up, man. But yeah, and then you got people to go over and fight for them for what? Let all the white nations, if that's the case, then listen to white nations help them out. Since it's all about white, about you being comfortable around white people and everything, forget about people trying to do the right thing was wrong thing. You know, trying to do what's right, what's in their heart. I mean, that's just crazy. You know, it's just, I just don't have no tolerance for stuff like that. It's just, that's why I make these videos to show the hypocrisy in some stuff, man. That a person have time to sit there and be racist. I mean, sometimes you just want to laugh. You know, you got times that, oh, I'm gonna be around the white people. I'm in the middle of a freaking war. The last thing I'm thinking about, I don't give a damn if I'm in a weather disaster, war, famine, laying up on my heart. I don't care about who, what race, what group of people, whether Asian, whatever. Hey, man, come get me, shit. I mean, shit. That I can worry about that stuff later. You know, I'll be thankful. I'll be humble. Be thankful. Hey, you know, just hope that it's a language barrier, but hey, that's what you get when you come to another. When you relocate because of war. Like, I mean, I said, too bad. You know, her reality. It's like, do you understand? You in the midst of a war, of a people that is next door to your neighbor that speak to a similar language. Between the Russian and Ukrainians, they telling you in Russian, we bombing your crap up, and you got time to be racist, and then the other nations come and get you, bring you out of the situation, relocate you, and you got some people are being racist. Please make it make sense. I just don't understand that. But, it's just, wow. And it's good, man, even when they were over there with African students, they were Asian students trying to help out in the war, because maybe if they would have trained them, they would have helped out in the war. But some of the Ukrainians were so racist, they showed their ass toward them. Now, it's hard to feel sorry for somebody who's a racist. It's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? It's like you think that you superior race, and superior think that you're gonna bring your butt back alive to be protected. Ask the God that's been protecting the only white people come get your behind. Here it is. Here was another story about that.
Hey guys, Dave Ramsey here. One of the most powerful things I get to do is celebrate with people who paid off.
Back at that time.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. Well, I finally decided to chime in on this particular topic here because there was a lot of information that is flooding the airways concerning what is happening over there in Ukraine with Russia, with the refugees, with the people that are fleeing, trying to get out of there. Lots of information is coming at us, and I wanted to highlight something that a lot of focus is not given to. Okay, so there is a lot of discrimination happening right now as we speak. You have African refugees trying to get out and get to safety just like everybody else. So we're hearing about, the helicopters that are being knocked down, the Russian helicopters that are being knocked down by Ukrainians, and how Ukrainians are just such brave people, and they're getting all this help from all over the place. There's the talk about wanting to save. It puts a whole different, one guy actually said it puts a whole different spin on things when you see that those who are suffering are white with blonde hair and blue eyes. So he's basically saying, look, I care because they look like me, right? So what some of these Africans are experiencing, there are issues where African refugees are being mistreated by other people. They were talking about how the Polish have responded to some of these Africans trying to flee. It says people of color fleeing Ukraine are being attacked by Polish nationalists. Okay, that's not the only story that we're hearing like this. We are hearing that Africans are being denied the right to get on trains or buses or any type of transportation out of there because they are allowing Ukrainians or white people to escape first. I know these are very uncomfortable topics, but this is the stuff that's happening in the world, right? These things have happened for a very long time, but people think that it's racist to talk about these things. I mean, this is what's happening, and this is happening right now today. But what we're hearing now is that Vladimir Putin is actually helping Africans, while others are refusing to help them. So what are we supposed to think about that? Is this man actually helping Africans while others are refusing to help them? They won't let you out, or if you try to get out, you're being attacked by Polish nationalists? Oh, okay, tell me, who are the ones who are being wrong in this case? Who's being wrong here? Explain to me why the Africans aren't being helped, but all the white people are. Can someone make that make sense for me? And for those of you who say, well, they're helping women and children. Okay, well, let me explain this to you. There was an incident that was highlighted to where there was an African woman with her 2-week-old baby who was trying to get out as well. But they wouldn't let her on either. So this has nothing to do with trying to help women and children, because if that were the case, then that African woman with her newborn, fresh out of the womb baby would have been allowed to escape as well. And so it amazes me how things are being reported. I don't know what's going on. I'm not over there, but I do know what is being reported. You have Africans who are saying that Vladimir Putin is helping us. But you have other reports of Africans saying that they're being attacked, they're being hurt, and then you can see actual footage of them being turned away while others are being allowed to go through to safety. So are we supposed to just ignore that because people think we shouldn't focus on that? Those who believe we shouldn't focus on that are those who, like the one reporter said, he cares and it bothers him, it hurts him to see this happening to people with white skin, blue eyes, and blonde hair. Let's just call it what it is. There is a mindset that exists in this world that has existed for a very long time that people want us to ignore. They want to pretend like it doesn't exist, or that we are just making a mountain out of a molehill when this stuff is in your face constantly. Now, let me just bring it into perspective. I'm not complaining about it. You know why? Because it was prophesied. How can you complain about something that was foretold? The complaining won't change a thing. What does change things is when you recognize that we are living in a very spiritual realm here, where things that were prophesied a long time ago are happening right before our eyes. And so this should help you to be able to identify what the Bible talks about when it makes a separation between certain things. When the Bible tells you that a certain group of people will be hated of all nations, it makes more sense when you actually know who that group of people are versus what you've been told, versus the lies that have been put out there into the atmosphere, into the world, to flood the world with misinformation about who is who in the Bible. But when you begin to line events and things up, and actions and deeds and stuff that is unfolding, when you begin to line that up with the Bible, then you can identify who is who by what is happening and to whom it's happening. So again, is Vladimir Putin helping Africans while others are refusing to? First of all, thank you to the brother who shared the story with me. I appreciate that so very much. I appreciate it so very much. And very specifically, just to point it out, it says Putin was giving Tanzanian students a place to stay and clothes to change. Thank you to Brother Yehuda for sharing that with me, because it is very important that these things are talked about and that they are highlighted, because there's this push to gloss over things, to make it seem like, oh, you're just feeding too much into something, or it's not as bad as you think it is, or not as bad as it seems, or not as bad as you say. Regardless of what is actually sometimes being caught on camera, people still want to pretend like it's not as bad as what reality has shown us. So anyway, I wanted to share this, and you know, there's definitely something going on out here. The way this whole thing is being reported, it's very curious to me. It's very, very strange. Very strange the way this whole Ukraine-Russia thing is being reported. Very strange. Well, if you look at Western media, they always put their spin on things. They report things the way they want you to believe it. Remember, a long time ago, I shared where they used to report things up north in the northern states. They would make a statement, something like, there is a young white child and his mother who was attacked by someone of color, so that they can enrage the people in the north, when it was all lies. They were just doing this to just get the public riled up about something that never happened. And then, of course, the movie Wag the Dog. Oh my goodness. If you haven't seen that, take a look at it. The way Western media reports things, they report things in a way to get a reaction that they are trying to get. It is what it is, y'all. The truth is what it is. Okay, I'm done with the story. In the comment section below, remember to keep it tight and keep it right. But until next time.
At Olive Garden, the cheese keeps coming till you say when.
See for yourself.
So we are going.
Remember
I
this?
wish someone would make me enter the car right now. You want that my Louis come back? You guys, we are walking to Romania. See, I'm sad, but then I don't know why I'm laughing because I don't like this. I paid for bus to take me to Romania. I understand that there's traffic. Cars are all here. We will definitely reach, but we are now walking. Then what will happen? And if like the bus is literally going there and then turns back, so why don't we stay in the bus? Because it's not like if we go to Romania right now, our flight is ready to pick us to Ghana. No, we are now going to Romania. Then we'll now book. We'll now get a visa before going to Ghana. So let's just stay in the bus. Right now, see you guys. I even forgot my bag was 4-wheel. I was like dragging it like this. Actually, can go like this. Okay. Hey, see how you are suffering. It's like you come back to Ukraine. You are inside. Donald Trump's brother. Oh God. Right now I'm laughing, but see, it's not funny, yo. It's really not funny. No, I'm so tired. And we are not even we've not even walked 5 minutes. I'm very tired. Everyone has left. Let me hurry up and go and join them. And it's getting dark too. My back all is paining me, See my luggage. What's all this? We paid for a bus. I don't know why we are walking.
They paid for the bus.
We didn't visit a bus for how many minutes?
And they're walking.
It's fine that maybe we thought the bus would take us there. Then now we found maybe 250 or something. But maybe because we also made him wait for a long time, so like that would be my day. Wait, where was everybody? I don't know because we all tried to get there. No, the news came like 11:30 or something. Well, they told us to park anyways, but I feel so. Come on, imagine me if I was in the bank by then to take money. I was still at the ATM behind the ATM when they said that no one was in the loan. When did you do yours? Yes, I just withdrew 500. Oh no, so I stood there and I would do like it was nice. I don't know. That's it because I knew that the remainder I will not even use it in Romania. I will just swipe with my card. So fancy. Yes. See, I went to the bank. They told me I cannot access the dollar card in Ghana due to this. This one. Ghana card. Ghana card. Hey, they use the dollar card. Yes, that's what they are telling me. You can't use the dollar card due to what? It's just like a visa. Ukrainian card. What? But you can use Ukrainian account. You can use your bank. But can you use your Ukrainian card? I've used the Ukrainian card. So what card can you swipe? Not the Ukrainian card, the dollar one. No, you can only use your Ghana. Where do you use it at? Sweden now, Sweden, Germany. You use Ukrainian card to swipe. Private? Yes. Okay, I have one. Are you sure? Yes. But graving card, right? It has that thing. It's not the dollar one. The dollar one. Yes, both of them. Wait, like this one. Does it have that thing? This. You can swipe with it. This calling me plenty like this. You guys, let's go. It looks like no one is coming. See the very lazy. You guys, this is the update. Right? What's the time? Can you check for me? We are still walking. We are not even. We can't even see any building that will say. It's 6:45. It's 7. Since morning. 6:45. It's 6:45. Why is it 7? Now 6:45 and 7. 50 minutes. Hey, sister. I've not been eating since morning. My back is hurting. The bags are heavy. I just thank God that at least the weather is not extremely cold. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Hey, me in Bible, when I reach Ghana, I'm not coming again. What's all this? Even, do you know the funny part? We don't even know if they'll give us a pass to the Romania that we are going to. We are now going to Romania to go and beg that, oh please, Biko, give us a chance. Because we don't have a pass right now to go there.
I want to get there first, and you can do.
You guys see the thousands of people at the border. We are at the border now. And see the people here. I'm not eating this money, so we are going to get some food from a restaurant here. You guys, so update is we are in a queue. It was fun. I don't know if you can see the number of human beings in front of us. So we are waiting to enter. It's not today we enter. I know definitely we are going to enter this place on Saturday. Like in Saturday. We are entering Romania on Saturday. Like that's when we enter Romania. Because from the look of things, hey, my fingers are now it's getting cold. My fingers are freezing. Now you can talk. I'm very cold, so and I didn't carry anything, so I use my shirt to cover my thyroid area here and then my nose. It's very cold. Let me show you guys where we are. We are almost guys. Immediately I finished filming this video, we started fighting, crying. There was soldiers were even beating people to be able to enter. We stood there for more than 5 hours, and as I'm doing this video, people are still here. You guys,
5 hours in the cold.
Oh my God. We had to literally fight to be able to enter. Oh my God. I was there. Like they'll make people enter in that one big vehicle. And then
let me show you an online website that generates odd.
And why should we help these people after what they did to the people from? Now let me tell you straight. It takes a lot of money for a student, people to gather up the money to go along with the scholarship is needed to eat and survive and go to school over in Ukraine. Coming clear from one continent to the over into Africa, from Africa to Ukraine. And this is how the way they do this. In the midst of a war, you have people that have the audacity to be racist. That's why I see and most Africans have the compassion to love and have God like Christ. What does that tell you about some of the Romanians and Ukrainians in Poland? Do they have God like? Whoa! It gets even. Oh, you think that was something? Oh, it gets even worse than this. And that's why African American, Caribbean, stay out of those countries. Please.
At least 5,000 mercenaries and 200 special forces from Nigeria have decided to enlist in Ukraine, according to the Ukrainian embassy in Nigeria. The issue is currently being resolved through the transfer of mercenaries from this African country to Ukraine. However, the fact that Kiev is actively attracting foreign mercenaries to counter the Russian special operation indicates that a number of countries around the world are escalating their opposition to Russia.
They kick their countrymen out.
At the other hand, Russian media is discouraging foreign forces to join Ukraine armed forces with different weird comments. According to various sources, up to 20,000 foreign mercenaries, including those from Europe, the United States, and other regions of the planet, may be on the territory of Ukraine today. This indicates direct intervention in the current situation on the part of the West. Russia warned of serious consequences regarding this movement. Nigerians that are stuck in Ukraine, their government told them, you're on your own. You're on your own. But somehow you have Nigerians, farmers, cooks, from all different types of professions. But they have to have military background. Many of the Nigerians who want to go to Ukraine and fight, they have military background. That is the requirement on top of $1,000 for the ticket. So the Nigerians who want to go to Ukraine and fight, they have to have a background in military. They have to pay $1,000 and they're on their own. So the Nigerian government isn't promoting Nigerians to fight in Ukraine. If you want to go, we don't support it, but we can't keep you from going. However, you're on your own and you have to pay for your ticket. I'm going to get into an article I was sent via email, and it goes more in depth with a Nigerian who wants to go to Ukraine and fight. So this entire commentary will be based off of this article I'm getting ready to read, because this is going into the mind of a Nigerian. And that's what we want to do, right? We want to not just tell the news, but we want to go into the mind of these people. Why are they doing what they are doing? Why do a Nigerian needs to go and defend white nations? Why do you feel the need to strap up and take your black ass to go and fight in a European war, a white war? Ukrainian refugees are able to go into neighboring European nations and get asylum immediately.
Just like that.
Immediately. But you have Arabs who cannot get into Europe because they're Arab. They're not white. They're not European. They want to keep their race white and you mix your race up. That keeps them in power. There's Indian students in Ukraine being discriminated against, beat up, shot because they're Indian. You have America trying to question India about not speaking against the Soviet Union. India is staying neutral, and they're not going to support Ukraine while their people are being shot in Ukraine. Right. It makes no sense. So if the Indians know this, why your black ass don't know this? Black people are getting kicked off of trains.
That's
Africans.
I showed you that.
You have Africans. You have Nigerians being discriminated against, but you have Nigerians and other Africans who want to go to Ukraine and help Maslow defend his land. Being African, you should know a thing or two about land grab. So let's get into this article. The Embassy of Ukraine in Nigeria says Nigerians who are willing to travel to Ukraine to fight Russian forces
must be willing to provide $1,000 for ticket and visa. The embassy stated this when scores of Nigerian men converged on its premises in Abuja on Thursday to express their readiness to join the Ukrainian side. You got Nigerian men eager, can't wait, can't sleep, tossing and turning to join Massa and his fight over his land. You're not going to get a piece of the pie.
And
after this is over, if you make it out, if you're not bombed to smithereens, you'll just go back home and see.
And not only in some of Ukraine's army, there's Azov, which is a white supremacist armed forces. So these silly Ukrainians, silly Nigerians, is going to put me fit.
Yeah, I fall for Massa.
Oh my goodness.
I fall for Massa, and I made it back home. That's gonna be your victory song when you guys make it back. If you make it back to Nigeria, I fall for Massa, and I made it back home. In an interview with our correspondent, the second secretary at the Ukrainian embassy to Nigeria, Badam Soti, confirmed that $1,000 would be needed by Nigerian volunteers. The announcement did not go down well with the Nigerians, who lamented that the price was too high. The $1,000 requirement is too high, said Monday Abikwu, with number 96NA/41/2808, who was dismissed from the Nigerian army for leaving his duty post to visit his pregnant wife without permission. So he was in the military, but he got the boot because he left his post to visit his pregnant wife without permission. Okay, they said we should provide evidence of military experience, passports, and $1,000 for tickets and others. When I asked what the salary is, the guy first said $7,000 and later changed it to $3,300 per month. So to fight in Ukraine, if you survive, they will pay you $3,300 a month. I showed him my military and training certificates. So America is participating in the war. Vladimir Putin said if NATO or Ukraine puts up a no-fly zone, but I do believe he said NATO. Yeah, he said NATO, not Ukraine. Excuse me, NATO. He said if NATO puts up a no-fly zone over Ukraine, that's participating in the war. He's right. Since NATO can't join the party because Ukraine is not a part of NATO, America is funding foreigners to go in and fight. Now let's go back to the Arab Spring. Listen, let me dial back to the Arab Spring, and then we'll get back into what this Nigerian fighter is saying, because it's all for mass. And this is how you connect dots. This is how you figure shit out. The Arab Spring. You had fighters coming in from all over the globe to fight in the Arab Spring. What happened to the Arab Spring? It got hijacked. So what's going on right now in Ukraine with NATO trying to get foreign fighters into Ukraine to take on Russia, to take on the Soviet Union? America is participating in this war. Man, this article just made me have a flashback. Wow. He said, I want to go to Ukraine because I'm a military man. I fought in Liberia. I fought in Sierra Leone. I was part of the 33 Battalion. I was trained by Ukrainian soldiers when I was in the United Nations in Kosovo on how to shoot and drive APC tanks. I can drive it very well. So he was trained by Ukrainian soldiers how to drive tanks, how to shoot. So when I heard about Ukraine and the way people are trooping in, I am a farmer. I don't have anything. I'm a fighter. They said they will pay us, so I am ready to fight so that I can get paid and take care of my family. So again, they're paying foreign fighters to come in and fight for Ukraine. I told you, America has their hand in the cookie jar also. I will also bring glory to the name of Nigeria as a worthy ambassador. No, you won't. You'll just be another African fighting Master's war so he can keep his land and keep his grip around your neck. What Africans should be doing is doing business with Africans, anticipating Europe to fall. You trying to keep Europe going. I can't blame the Nigerian government because they're not promoting it. They said, hey, you're on your own. And it's unfortunate that the Nigerian government told Nigerians inside of Ukraine that they would not help them. Every other country is helping their people except black countries. Now, Nigeria did end up sending a plane, but that was after the Indians left. That was after the Ukrainians were able to go into other European countries while you had to stay in Ukraine, being discriminated against, but you want to help your master fight his war. Who cares if you were trained by Ukrainian troops? That was the least they can do. You take that training you learned from the Ukrainian troops and you train your fellow Nigerian men. And then you guys strategize and plan for the takeover.
Exactly.
That's how you do that. You anticipate Europe warring with each other. You support it, yeah. So you can take over really, really soon.
Yeah.
If I was a part of the African Union or if I was on the board of some African country, I would be promoting that, hey, let's start doing business with all black people around the globe because Europe is getting ready to fall.
Exactly.
But nah.
Exactly.
The Nigerian has to go to Ukraine and keep Master's kingdom. His kingdom. Big bad Russia messing with the little old Ukrainian people and they gotta leave their land. But when your black ass get up there, you're the N-word. You need to get the F out. You don't get asylum like the Europeans get asylum. But you want to fight in his war. For what? He says, and I quote, "We are not scared. It was David that killed Goliath with only a tool. So I believe my going to Ukraine will give them victory." If you took that energy and put it into your country,
right,
Africa would be a much, much better place.
Right.
I am 100% to fight for Ukraine. This is what these Nigerian men are saying. I am 100% to fight for Ukraine. It is wrong for someone to invade another person's land. Well, aren't you on a continent where European men has been invading your land since the colonial days?
Right.
Right. So it's okay for you to get your land invaded, but Massa should never ever, and see, that is the problem. That is the mind frame. That is the spirit. That is the tradition. And not only just Africans, but in black Americans and black people globally.
Woo.
This is why white supremacy will never ever be defeated. The only way white supremacy gets defeated is if white supremacy defeats itself. They have to go to war with each other. That's the only way.
Exactly.
He said since Nigerians needed visas to visit Romania and Poland. So you mean to tell me if you're going to go and fight for Ukraine, you need a visa to enter, but Ukrainians can go into other countries without a visa? Nigga, you going into a country being discriminated on and fighting for them. Those Ukrainians, they're not asking for their visas, they're allowing them to come over. Your black ass, you want to put on your boots and fight for massa, and you still got to show your credentials. In this particular case, you cannot fly to Ukraine. The only way you can fly is to countries that border Ukraine. All these countries are part of the EU, and Nigerians will need visas to visit these countries. You damn skippy. You black. You're not getting no pass like those Ukrainians. They're European. You better have a visa. So it's a big obstacle. You think? You cannot fly directly to Ukraine. You will have to go to Poland or Hungary, Sotis said. Now, I've talked about people going to war for different reasons. You have people who want to go to war because they want to be a hero. They don't want to be at home. They don't have anything to do. They're fighting for their favorite country, or they're fighting for their country of origin. You have different reasons. You have different motives. These Nigerians' reasons is because a big old country, the liberals' point of view. This big old country invaded this little small country, and you had all those scary white people, and we Nigerians need to go to Ukraine and defend their land. See, you Africans, you gotta pay for it. You gotta pay to fight in masses war. It's gonna cost you 1K. I did a live stream, and in that live stream I showed a news clip of a man in Great Britain signing up to go to war in Ukraine.
Yes.
He did not mention that he had to pay $1,000. He did not have to pay $1,000. There was a 70-year-old man. No, I believe he was 60, excuse me. He was 60. He said he wanted to go to Ukraine and fight. He did not mention he had to pay $1,000. You Africans, you have to have a visa and $1,000 and a military background. And you're still willing to jump through hurdles and hoops like the Olympics to fight for master. You mad you can't fight for master. You are upset you can't fight for master. Oh, this is jacked up, man. You don't get the hint. This is not really your war. You should be strategizing with the other African nations, hooking up with your allies, black Americans. Stop allowing these pro-black clown leaders to tell you to believe something or think a certain way to line his pockets. Enough is enough. Everybody got allies except black people. That's why black people are so quick to sell out.
Yes.
You can't trust each other. You can't rely on each other.
It's very true.
You can't rely on your fellow sellouts.
Very true.
You're all sellouts.
Very true. Yes.
So you can't rely on each other. So
I made
you
a video
have to sell out.
with the North
You
and
have to
South.
go to mass.
Right.
Even though he's allowing Ukrainians to get asylum up to 3 years in Poland. If you are Ukrainian, you get asylum up to 3 years.
3 years.
And you know
in
they will
Poland.
extend it, right? If you're African and you want to help Massa protect his kingdom, you need to pay $1,000. You need a military background, and you need a visa.
To go in the
He's
post.
discriminating on you in your face, even though he needs your help because he doesn't have any respect for you.
Yep.
And Vladimir Putin was right. You don't even trust in yourself. Africans look at Europeans as demigods. Vladimir Putin was spot on.
Woo! That's a lot of truth in that one. That's a lot of truth. And there are some Africans that are like that. Even when they come to America, man, I have seen some in America like that. I'm sorry if it's any Africans, but I've seen it here. But you think he reported on it? Phil reported on it.
This ring here is worth $1 million. And
this thing
you're
is
probably
hot.
thinking, well, it's made out of gold or platinum or it's designed at Tiffany's, and no, none of that. This ring is worth
African diaspora Phil reported on it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I know you have been watching what's been going on with this situation with the Russia and the Ukraine, or at least I have to keep up with it because it just the things that we're seeing coming out of there, what we should know, going ahead, how it's going to affect, us here, in the U.S. as well. So it's definitely always changing every single day. Now, if you see the title, I know it's crazy to see that kind of title, but oh yes, it is true. Now, these people are in a war with their own people. This has nothing to do with black folks. This is white on white crime, and they need to stop this white on white crime. I don't understand why they're being so violent. I don't understand that. This isn't civilized at all. I mean, did they actually pray to white Jesus? I don't know, but they're being very, very violent right now. And that's not our fight, that's not our problem. The only time I'm going to talk about is when it is our fight and is our problem. Now, when our brothers and sisters are stuck in their situation, then it becomes, okay, my problem to talk about what's going on. If you're not in the field that I'm in, you may not even be worrying about it as much as I may talk about it. But just to give you a recap of how they were treating brothers and sisters that was trying to leave there, let's play this short clip.
There were some reports about discrimination of people with Arabic or African roots. What can you tell us about that? Is this true? Did you experience something like this?
Yes, I experienced that. There's a lot of hostility from the white women. They really don't like us to be in the train. Somebody was telling me I have to stand up, I have to go out. If I'm not a Ukrainian, I shouldn't be in the train of a Ukrainian. I should find anywhere I should go to. So it's really, really, really sad that we have to face this. And they prefer their pets, their animals, even before a black man or a black woman. So it's really sad.
Right, so you heard the brother say, the brother even said the Karens wanted their pets more than black people, okay? And yeah, I've been getting some little pushback from some of these Ukrainians coming on my Twitter and saying, oh, well, not all Ukrainians are that way. I say, well, enough of y'all are. I say, to cause this. You understand? You're holding Africans at gunpoint. You're making Africans get off the trains. They ain't got nothing to do with your fight whatsoever, but yet you're treating them horribly. You're showing your racism. Don't come over there on my Twitter page explaining to me. Don't do that. Talk to your countrymen. Talk to your countrywomen. How they treating black people. Now, on the top of treating black people that way, and we've seen the hundreds of videos that have been coming out, and shout out to the brothers and sisters who have recorded these videos. Shout out to the brothers and sisters who started the hashtag Africans in Ukraine. Shout out to them for doing that. That's very important because y'all have to understand, we have to use our cell phones and the internet to tell our story, because the mainstream media, which is the white media, was trying to not report on this. Oh, they didn't want to talk about it. But once again, we forced them to talk about it because they had no choice. It was too many videos out there for them not to talk about it. So I want you to hear our brother here. Now, our brother, he's from the Congo. I want you to hear what them folks told our brother here. Let's roll that short clip.
They told us like, we are going to give you guns and you're going to fight for Ukraine. I said, hi. we're gonna fight for Ukraine. We are not Ukrainian. We are black. So how can we fight? How can we fight for Ukraine? If we fight for Ukraine, we are going to die first because we are black. When they will say, "Oh, look at those black people," I think they are from they are from NATO. So we have to kill them first. So how could they think that way? Come on.
Heard our brother said that they wanted him and Africans to pick up arms and go fight for Ukraine. Now, we had posted this maybe on Instagram and also on Twitter. You also had more than folks showing up saying, "Oh, well, they over there enjoying a good life in Ukraine. Why can't they fight for Ukraine?" Not their country, for one. Two, like the brother said, it's not our problem. It is not our problem.
Right.
At all.
Right.
Why should Africans fight for your problem?
Right.
That's your issues. Y'all figure out that mess.
Right.
Y'all don't care about what happens in the African nations. You don't care.
Right.
You don't care what happens in Black America. You don't care what happens in the Caribbean. You don't care about anybody else except yourself. And you exposing yourself daily by saying you're civilized and this isn't a third world country. Well, you're a third world country now.
Yeah.
You're a third world country.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to it. And the only reason you wasn't supposedly a third world country is because you were stealing all the resources out of Africa. So you can live high on the hog.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now it's visited your doorstep. But it has been in these people's history to always go to black folk to bail them out of their issues and their problems.
Mm-hmm.
You go all the way back to the Revolutionary War in America.
Mm-hmm.
All black people, you help us fight. And you help us defeat the British. We give you your freedom. What happened to that? They didn't get their freedom at all, right? Put black people right back into slavery. To go up to the Civil War, right? All those black people help us with the Civil War and all of that. Yeah, black people got their freedom, and the Union troops had protected black folks for about 10 years.
And Confederate.
With the Reconstruction era. And then when they had the Great Compromise, they pulled them out, and here they goes attacking black folks again. Treating us any kind of way. Every time you make a deal with the white supremacists, it's never going to end up well, because the white supremacist is with the devil. He's the devil, period. He doesn't honor treaties. He don't even honor treaties with himself. Let's call it what it is. The reason why you got this problem, and nobody wants to talk about this because it's the truth, when you had the Soviet Union, Mikhail Gorbachev had told Reagan and them back then, look, if we had this breakup with the Soviet Union, you got to sign a treaty saying that NATO can't get on Russia's back door. And they signed a treaty for that. Now, they have been not following that treaty, and they've been inching closer and closer and closer and closer to Russia. And so, every time they inch closer to Russia and try to get a nation to join NATO, that's the same thing that happened with Georgia, why Russia invaded that. That's the same thing that happened with Crimea, why they invaded that. And now you got Ukraine. And then Ukraine, that situation, in a way, kind of messed up, because America kept telling them, oh, flirting with the idea of them being in NATO, because they know, okay, we'd be in NATO, we'd be protected, right? Now they say, oh, yeah, well, maybe y'all possibly join the EU. That way you become an EU member, and, you can come underneath our branch. No, they haven't done anything. Now, Jim Crow Joe has sent $350 million U.S. tax dollars, your tax dollars and mine, to Ukraine the other day in the guise for weapons. So he's sending all kind of weapons over there to Ukraine. But at the same time, Putin got him by the balls. And the reason why he got him by the balls is because he tell them, you step over here if you want to, I got something for you. I got these nukes waiting on you. Mm-hmm. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So that one country is holding off all of NATO, and NATO is made up of many nations. Actually, NATO would defeat Russia. They would, but it would be a messy battle because you got nine of the countries all together that have the nukes like that.
Mm-hmm.
So when they already threatened, they say, well, if it's World War III, it's gonna be a nuclear war. That's what they said. So with that being said, black folks don't need to be involved with that. Any African under the sound of my voice, don't you dare be involved with their mess, But like that brother say, they'll go ahead on and get at you first. They'll kill you first before they kill their own people.
Right.
There's so many neo-Nazis over there in Ukraine.
Exactly.
So many of them.
Exactly.
They are a training ground for the white supremacists.
I made a video about that.
Now, Putin said they had some Nazis over there. It's true. They do.
Right.
But that's their problem. That's not our problem.
Right.
I see more and more Africans now, and I'm pointing this out as well. Everybody's saying they black men now. They black women. They ain't talking about I'm Nigerian, I'm from the Congo. Look, listen, I'm glad sometimes a hard lesson is a good lesson. And we have been screaming in the wilderness that you living under global white supremacy. They don't care about what country you come from. They gonna call you black. They gonna call you the N-word. And now you got to see that in real time.
Right.
So, but we are now seeing that some of our brothers and sisters are making it back home. I heard some people made it back to South Africa. Some of them have made it back to Ghana. Some of them have made it back to Nigeria. So the African countries are getting their people back home. It is happening. But don't fight for these people. We have done enough for these people. We have been enslaved, to these people and built up enough. Africans were colonized, underneath these people and built up enough. Let them do everything on their own. Now, of course, you're going to have some black folk that's going to run out there and try to be, captain, save, white mommy and white daddy. And there's nothing you can do about that. But these folks, I just saw a story actually in Senegal. The Ukrainian embassy in Senegal is trying to recruit Senegalese men to go to Ukraine and fight. Why are you trying to keep recruiting Africans for?
Right.
Go recruit your fellow Europeans. Go recruit people in Poland, Romania, right there.
Thank you.
Go recruit them.
Thank you.
Ask them to go help fight for you.
Right.
Why are you messing with black folk?
Right.
Black folk don't owe you anything.
Right.
And black folk gotta be a fool and a half. If you even think in your rabbit, and I say rabbit mind, well, I'll go fight for them, and maybe we win. I can have some citizenship, and I can leave Nigeria, I can leave Ghana, I can leave wherever. That'll be a decision you make unto your death. If you wanna leave your country and go die, go ahead and go fight for the Ukrainians if you want to, because the Ukrainians cannot beat the Russian military. They can't. You'll be going to your deathbed if you go do that. And why? If you gonna die for something, die fighting for your people.
Right.
That's what you die for.
Right.
Die fighting for your family.
Right.
You don't go die fighting for them people. Remember, they said this is not some third world country. They call the African continent third world countries. They said this is Europe. Like they supposed to be immune from everything.
Right.
So do not make that kind of decision. Women in those countries, don't let your men make some bonehead decision like that. Get on their behind, hit them upside the head, hit them in the head with a frying pan or a brick or something. I don't know what you got to do to get it out their head. But tell them, you're going to fight for something, fight in this country. Fight these politicians in this country as puppets for the West. That's what you're going to do. You want to go fight something, go fight them. You talking about it's the government and it's the politicians are...
Can we fix your... Would you be interested in collecting 5-figure paychecks for a few hours of work?
He was the only one that told you about this.
From home? I'm gonna...
You know this guy? Shout out to their channels. But you realize not everybody is saying that even though we all love God, but even among some Christians, God has to look a certain way. And that's a fact. With some of us, not all of us. That's a fact.
What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy, Gold Black to Africa. I I think it's very important for us to understand as people of color, those who are black, African, melanated people. Isn't it a shame that I gotta break that down? Because if I say that we all are in one category, people just shut down. We have separated ourselves into different groups. But check this out. Africans are finding out. You're just not no Nigerian when you go into Western worlds. You're not just no South African when you go into Western worlds. You, first and foremost, are a black threat, and yet you will endure prejudice. How is it that when you have Africans in Ukraine and Russia is down their throats and the Ukrainians are showing prejudice and bias and discriminatory actions against the Africans? You see, Africans, y'all gotta stop fighting. We gotta stop fighting against each other when it comes to this bull crap about I'm Nigerian, I'm South African, I'm Ghanaian. No, at the end of the day,
Jesus.
you have lost focus in who you are as an African.
Right.
You're divided and you can't stand together. And they will pit you against one another. Now, Africans who are there in this Ukraine trying to get over to Poland, what have you, they're being prohibited because the Poland people don't want them black people up in there. And the Ukraine, you'd be dang if our people was going to take the back of the train or get on last while we're going to let you on first. No, it's going to be our folks first, then anybody else who's going to get out of this country because this war is going on. Africans are starting to see they don't love you. They have never loved you. The only reason why you've been invited to go to their colleges and learn medical and whatever other professions you do is because they get paid money. It's because it helps their economy. If you think Western worlds are so excited to bring you in under their programs and giving you these professions, you're fooling yourself. Because at the end of the day, they need people to service them. To them, you are nothing more than a low-down, dirty African. And you are finding out that when it comes time for them to stand with each other, you are left without. When you thought you were special in their eyes, when you thought that you was probably reached an achievement because you're in the Western world, when you thought you finally arrived, you still see in the eyes of those you're nothing. But be of good cheer. Me being 55 years old, and I had to go through this mess growing up in America. Never lose who you are. Though you may go to Western worlds, if you ever get caught into believing that you're something like them, that I have arrived now, they're accepting me, I have been approved, you have lost yourself. If you think by marrying one of their women or men makes you more better, you have lost who you are. You have sold your soul to the devil. You are no worse than what they are. Matter of fact, you are worse than they are. I have seen these brothers and sisters who go to these Western worlds and think they are way better than their own brothers and sisters. But don't ever lose yourself from thinking you have become like them. From the day that you think you have become like them, you have lost your blessing. You have lost everything that was given you. The more that we try to be like them, the weaker we become. We've lost our spirituality. We've lost our morality. We've lost our identification. We've lost we keep thinking that they have the answers. We have to understand where we play a part in the game of where they want us to be. We are a piece of the puzzle that has been missing. We are the ideas, the innovators to promote their businesses, their economies. They need us strategically placed in corporations, institutions. They need our minds. They need our ideas, our wisdom, our knowledge. When you don't know that you're supreme, as the original on the planet Earth, you will always think you gotta give yourself in order to receive something back from them. It's the handout all the time. You put the 100% in, you get paid the crumbs. But I'm saying, share this video so that one reaches another, so that another reaches one, so that we begin to transform the renewing of our minds, so that we may prove what that is good and acceptable to our Lord. We already know that the skin we're in will never end. Listen, this is your man, not your boy. Go
back to Africa. I cannot agree with them more. And you must understand, I mean, you can love God, I know we've all, God is all people, God, and the Bible taught you right. But but when you see the actions of the people, watch how they act. This is my motto when I go to church, is that it's good that we all learn and come and fellowship together. But what does it affect? Does it go out and does it carry? Do they live on what they say? Are they living to see you as equal, or as their brother and sister in Christ? Or these two my ones who believe in God? See the character. Let the Most High show you the character. Sit back and watch. That's anybody. But you are just as precious as any other human being on this planet. It was never made to be like a totem pole. And this is what Western society have done this to us. The whites on top, black on the bottom, subconsciously. The Most High God never tended to be that way. It was man that tended to be that way. We're supposed to be like this. But subconsciously, and through history, you will see that it shows that most people are taught that people are like this, and continually, till this day, show it with some people. But, like I said, let them fight their war, because they let violence deal with violence. If it is about their survival of the race, let it be among their race to survive. Try to weed out the evil among each other. Then maybe they'll catch on. And I'm about to sign with this message. Don't take on no one's burden unless God assigned it to you. Don't take on their burden. It's alright to have compassion, continue to pray, stand down. If I had to tell it to any, stand down. It's time for them to get their 400-year licking from the Western countries. What they put out in the earth is they're reaping what they put out. And now the subconscious is coming back to them. And now the mere reflection of hatred and resentments come back to them. That's what they're seeing. That's why. Just pray. I know some of you have a good godly heart, but stand down. Just to my Africans. Stand down. Black, stand down. Let God do it. Take care.